what was the difference? It seemed defensively they did a relatively good job. It was scoring the other night. What was the?
I felt like you just look at just the math on it. The third period, they did a great job of coming out and really just playing a playoff type of defense. I would assume that they would have seen Chicago lose to Brooklyn, at halftime, and if they win, they're in. I bet that swirled around at halftime, and whether I'm right or wrong on that belief, that the third period set the stage for them.
That's one of the more aggressive schemes that you'll see in the league with players jumping out at you. How they make that tough?
I think just the length, the switching length. When you see sort of study how they play, Rich, it's effectively a zone. They just switch off on everything. We call it just eyes. You just load up on the eye. And so on the one side of the floor, you have sometimes a two-man eye or a three-man eye, and they sit in it. And you can do whatever you want on that side, and they don't care. They're just going to sit on it. And so much of what we did today at shoot-around was trying to, like what you would do against a zone in junior high. You'd get behind people's heads. You try to slash it and move behind it. But I respect their length. I respect, the fact that they could do that, and they've been doing that, and they're really good at it. But if you get stuck in mud and you're not moving or back cutting or front cutting or slashing the eyes, and you let the eyes stay stagnant, then you're playing into athletes, long athletes.
It's a tough matchup for Dario, just because it's a guy who's taller than him, and he's quicker and more athletic. But he did a decent job. It looked like he had a little more juice tonight, did you think?
I think so. And really, if you said, you're going to hold that team to 90 points, you'd be thrilled. I've said, as you know, I'm really have my eye on can we finish in a top 15 defense, which really is it's a playoff mentality that we're trying to deliver and grow that up to 10 next year and maybe single digits next year. And we're almost there. It's the only goal that we've had since day one, and we're almost there. And so I feel like our defense with 90 points was, for the most part, very good. I think Monroe has had a history of hurting us. Tonight, I thought that was the difference for them. I thought that we offensively, continue to not shoot like we're going to have to shoot. We put up 31 threes and made 8 of them. That's not going to be good enough to get it done. I think the assists, when you look at, 23 assists out of 27 made baskets, that's got a good feel to it, a little bit to the point we talked about, you better back cut and slash eyes. But in general, I think holistically, those are some of my comments.
What are some of the things, like when you're thinking about Joel, I'm trying to move forward a little bit, but some of the things that he showed you on the floor that makes you really, confident and excited about next year building around him?
I mean, where do I begin? I mean, you can just go all over the place, but it comes quite quickly back to really excited. Look at the two games we beat those two guys, Milwaukee, and we had very different teams when we did it. But you had a chance, say, if you were to make relative comparisons, if Joel were in the game tonight, it's just obviously the presence, the physical presence. I think the thing that you miss with Joel that we have, and Thiago gave a little bit of grunt in our schemes, is the physical side of what he brings to the table. Then you get into the skill aspects of what he can do on offense and defense. But I feel like the simplest way, because I don't want to give a clinic up here, is the physical presence and the size of the man. He's 7'2", 275 pounds. That kind of all by itself is a starting point.
Have you ever been around a player like that, though? I mean, just with the size and the skill set?
Not so much the whole skill set, but certainly the size. And the thing I get most excited about Joel is he has such a long ways to go. he is just scratching the surface of what ultimately he's going to be. We've all said from day one that his mind works faster than his body because he really hasn't played much basketball. But he's gifted intellectually, and he sees the game and he understands the game at a far advanced rate than he is justified to do, because he really hasn't played much. But he's prideful on studying, he pays attention, he understands schemes. You can talk with him and he gets it. And he sees things on a court that he has kind of no right to feel or see given his limited experience, yet he does. But then telling his feet to do something or his hands to do something to catch up to that quick mind is a challenge. We saw it all the time at the end of close games, you know, where it just, he thought fast and his body couldn't react at the same speed. And so I say that as, imagine when those two come together.
How long does it normally take for that?
Big men historically take longer than smalls, you know. I feel like he's not a typical big man, and I don't feel like his learning curve is typical either. I think just the consistency of playing basketball, he was very much in my world, in our world, like a rent-a player. You know, he's in, he's out, he's in, he's out. He really couldn't practice that much. You never really felt like he was ours. You felt like he was borrowed. And when he can get into a rhythm and a routine and just be a playing player in a normal system, then I think we're just going to see somebody blossom at a very rapid rate. And we're going to see really, I think, under that roof how special he truly is.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.